Remember when you noticed someone needed help before anyone else even realized? That heightened awareness isn't just about being observant, it's something deeper. Or have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt completely drained, like the energy is off and nothing around you truly connects? It's not just about being introverted or tired of small talk. It runs deeper than that. As you grow spiritually, crowded spaces and surface-level conversations no longer fulfill you. If this resonates, you're exactly where you need to be. You see, chosen ones often feel out of place, not because they're antisocial, but because they're awakening to a higher purpose. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You've been set apart for a special purpose, and with that calling comes a different way of experiencing the world. This feeling of disconnection is not a weakness. It's a sign of spiritual growth, a shift in your energy. In today's video, we'll uncover why being around too many people feels overwhelming and how this is actually preparing you for something extraordinary. By the end, you'll not only understand why this happens, but you'll see it as a powerful sign of the incredible journey you're on. As your spiritual connection deepens, you might notice something strange. The world around you seems louder, brighter, more intense. It's as if someone cranked up the volume on life itself. But why does this happen to some people and not others? Let's talk about what I call the sensitivity surge. Imagine you're at a party, and suddenly, you can hear every conversation in the room crystal clear. You can feel the emotions of everyone around you, sense the subtle shifts in energy, and pick up on things that others seem to miss entirely. It's like gaining a superpower overnight, but one that can be overwhelming at times. This heightened awareness isn't just in your head. It's a very real part of spiritual awakening. As you become more attuned to the spiritual realm, your physical senses often become more acute as well. It's like your entire being is becoming a finely tuned instrument, picking up on frequencies that were always there, but you couldn't perceive before. Now, you might be wondering, is this sensitivity a blessing or a curse? The truth is, it can feel like both at times. It's described as being bombarded by a multitude of signals at once. Think about that for a moment. In a crowded place, you're not just hearing conversations, you're picking up on underlying emotions, unspoken tensions, and spiritual energies that others might not even be aware of. And it's no wonder that many chosen ones often feel overwhelmed in busy environments. You're processing so much more information than before, and it can be exhausting. But here's the incredible thing. This sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's actually a powerful spiritual gift. Your heightened awareness allows you to navigate the world with a depth of understanding that others might not have. You can sense when someone needs help before they even ask. You can feel the energy of a place and know instinctively if it's positive or negative. In essence, you're developing a sort of spiritual radar that helps you navigate both the seen and unseen aspects of life. And one quote that really resonates with this experience states, "Chosen ones feel things a lot deeper and are therefore sensitive to ugliness, giving us a high standard of how to treat other people." This sensitivity shapes not just how you experience the world, but how you interact with it. You might find yourself becoming more compassionate, more attuned to the needs of others, and more aware of the impact of your own actions. But let's be honest, this gift can sometimes feel isolating. You might look around and wonder why others don't seem as affected by their surroundings. You might struggle to explain your experiences to friends or family who haven't gone through a similar awakening. It's important to remember that you're not alone in this journey. Many others are experiencing the same sensitivity surge, even if they're not in your immediate circle. So how do you navigate this new reality? First, recognize that your sensitivity is a tool, not a burden. Yes, it can be overwhelming at times, but it's also giving you insights and understanding that are incredibly valuable. Second, learn to manage your energy. Just as you would protect your physical body, you need to learn to protect your energy field. This might mean taking breaks from crowded places, spending time in nature, or developing a regular meditation practice. Remember, this sensitivity is part of your spiritual journey. It's preparing you for something greater, helping you tune into the frequencies of the divine. As you learn to embrace and manage this gift, you'll find that it opens doors to deeper connections, greater understanding, and a more profound sense of purpose. As you open those doors to deeper connections, you might notice something surprising. Remember when casual conversations used to flow so easily? Now, they often feel hollow, leaving you yearning for more. What if this shift isn't a flaw, but a sign of your spiritual growth? Think back to a time when you could chat effortlessly about anything. The weather, the latest TV shows, or weekend plans. Those conversations probably felt fun, light, and energizing. But now, something's changed. You find yourself in social situations, surrounded by people, yet feeling strangely disconnected. The small talk that once came naturally now feels like a chore, leaving you drained and unfulfilled. You're not alone in this experience. Many spiritually awakened individuals, or chosen ones, find themselves struggling with casual conversations that once seemed enjoyable. It's as if you're suddenly speaking a different language, one that goes beyond surface-level chit-chat. So, what's really happening here? As your spiritual awareness deepens, you're naturally drawn to more meaningful connections. Your soul is craving conversations that resonate with your evolving values and beliefs. It's like you've outgrown the shallow waters of small talk and are now ready to dive into deeper, more profound discussions. This shift in social preferences isn't a step backward. It's actually a sign of spiritual maturity and growth. You're no longer content with surface-level interactions because you've glimpsed something more profound. Your spirit is yearning for authenticity, depth, and purpose in your relationships. One source perfectly captures this experience. You may lose interest in the activities and conversations that were once the center of existing relationships, and instead crave deeply thoughtful, brazenly honest or curious, philosophical conversations. Does this resonate with you? Have you found yourself longing for discussions that go beyond the mundane and touch on life's bigger questions? This newfound desire for depth can sometimes lead to feelings of frustration or loneliness, especially in crowded environments where superficial interactions are the norm. You might find yourself withdrawing from conversations or feeling out of place at social gatherings. Remember, this isn't a flaw in your character. It's a reflection of your spiritual growth. As you navigate this change, you might notice that you're naturally drawn to people who share your depth and insight. You're seeking out kindred spirits who understand your journey and can engage in the kind of meaningful dialogue your soul craves. This is all part of aligning yourself with your higher purpose. However, it's important to remember that this transformation doesn't mean you should completely isolate yourself. Instead, it's an invitation to cultivate more authentic relationships. You're being called to create spaces where genuine connection can flourish, where conversations can go beyond the surface and touch on matters of the heart and soul. So, how can you navigate this new terrain? First, be patient with yourself and others. Remember that not everyone is on the same spiritual journey, and that's okay. Second, seek out opportunities for deeper connections. This might mean joining spiritual groups, attending workshops, or simply being open about your desire for more meaningful conversations with friends and family. Lastly, don't forget the value of silence and self-reflection. As one source wisely states, the wonderful and sometimes wild inner life is your focus, and this is either intensely private or not very interesting to people who are more focused on consensus reality issues. Embrace those moments of solitude as opportunities to connect with your inner wisdom and recharge your spiritual batteries. As you embrace those quiet moments, consider this. What if feeling out of place in crowds isn't a weakness, but a sign of spiritual strength? The life of Jesus offers a fascinating perspective on this. His pattern of retreating from the masses holds a secret that could transform how you view your own need for solitude. Have you ever noticed how Jesus, despite being constantly surrounded by crowds, often sought time alone? It's a pattern that appears throughout the Gospels, and it's no coincidence. Jesus, the ultimate example of spiritual leadership, regularly stepped away from the noise and demands of the multitude to pray and reconnect with his Father. Think about it for a moment. If Jesus, who was in perfect communion with God, felt the need to retreat for quiet reflection, how much more do we need those moments of solitude? It's not just about getting a break from the noise. It's about creating space for something profound to happen. When Jesus withdrew to pray, he wasn't running away from his responsibilities. Instead, he was preparing himself to fulfill his divine purpose with greater clarity and strength. This pattern teaches us something crucial about our own spiritual journey. Those times when you feel the urge to step back from the crowd aren't a sign of weakness or antisocial behavior. They're actually a sign that you're tuning into a higher frequency, just like Jesus did. Remember, Jesus often retreated to solitude for prayer and reflection. These weren't just casual time-outs. They were intentional, necessary moments that fueled his ministry and kept him aligned with his Father's will. When you feel that pull to seek quietness, you're experiencing something similar to what Jesus felt. It's a call to reconnect, recharge, and realign yourself with your spiritual purpose. Now you might be thinking, but I'm not Jesus. Surely my need for alone time isn't as important. Here's the truth. While we may not be walking in Jesus' exact footsteps, we are called to follow his example. Your moments of solitude are just as vital for your spiritual growth and effectiveness in your own unique calling. Consider this. When you're constantly surrounded by people and noise, it's easy to lose touch with your inner voice, that quiet whisper of divine guidance. By creating space for solitude, you're actually opening yourself up to hear God more clearly. You're creating an environment where deep, transformative spiritual experiences can take place. But let's be honest, in today's world, finding true solitude can be challenging. We're constantly connected, bombarded by notifications, and often feel guilty for taking time for ourselves. This is where Jesus' example becomes even more powerful. He didn't let the demands of the crowd dictate his need for quiet time. He prioritized it, even when it meant stepping away from important work. So the next time you feel that pull to retreat from the noise, remember that you're in good company. You're not being antisocial or weak. You're following in the footsteps of the greatest spiritual leader in history. You're creating space for something beautiful and necessary to happen in your spirit. This doesn't mean you should completely isolate yourself. Jesus always returned to the people, recharged and ready to serve. The goal is balance, finding that sweet spot between engagement and retreat that allows you to fulfill your purpose with clarity and strength. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to energize you, while others leave you feeling inexplicably exhausted? This isn't just about personality types. For spiritually sensitive souls, there's a phenomenon at work that goes beyond simple social interactions. It's called the energy transference effect, and it's a common experience for many of God's chosen ones. Imagine you're at a party, surrounded by friends and acquaintances. The conversation is flowing, people are laughing, and on the surface, everything seems fine. But as the night wears on, you start to feel drained. It's not just physical tiredness. It's as if something is sapping your very life force. You might find yourself seeking out quiet corners, longing for home, or feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of energy in the room. This experience isn't uncommon for spiritually awakened individuals. In fact, it's a sign of your heightened sensitivity and awareness. You're not just picking up on the words and actions of those around you. You're absorbing their energies, both positive and negative. It's like being a human sponge, soaking up the emotional and spiritual atmosphere of your environment. Think about it this way. Everyone emits a certain kind of energy. Some people radiate positivity and warmth, while others might carry heavy burdens of stress, anxiety, or negativity. As a spiritually sensitive person, you're attuned to these energies in a way that others might not be. You can feel the joy, the pain, the excitement, and the worry of those around you, even when it's not explicitly expressed. This sensitivity is a gift, but it can also be overwhelming. You might find yourself taking on the emotions of others, feeling their pain as if it were your own. In crowded spaces, this can lead to a sense of emotional overload. It's like trying to listen to 100 different radio stations at once. The noise becomes overwhelming, and you struggle to find clarity. As someone once explained from their own journey, being a highly sensitive person, I had to work on my senses, mind, and body consciousness through meditation to discipline and culture them to tune inward. This highlights an important truth. Managing your sensitivity is a skill that can be developed over time. It's not about shutting yourself off from the world, but rather learning to navigate it with greater awareness and control. The energy transference phenomenon can explain why you often feel drained after social gatherings, even when the event wasn't particularly stressful. It's not that you're antisocial or overly sensitive. You're simply absorbing and processing far more energetic and emotional information than those around you. This heightened sensitivity can be both a powerful gift and, at times, a challenge to manage. On one hand, your sensitivity allows you to connect deeply with others, to offer empathy and understanding in a world that often lacks it. You can sense when someone needs help before they even ask, and you have the potential to be a source of healing and comfort to those around you. On the other hand, this constant absorption of energy can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed if you don't take steps to protect and recharge yourself. So, what can you do to manage this energy transference effect? First, recognize that your sensitivity is a gift, not a burden. It's a sign of your spiritual awakening and your connection to something greater than yourself. Embrace it as part of your unique journey and purpose. Second, learn to set boundaries. This doesn't mean isolating yourself, but rather being mindful of your energy levels and knowing when to step back. It's okay to excuse yourself from situations that feel overwhelming. Taking short breaks during social events, finding quiet moments to recharge, or limiting your time in crowded spaces can all help you manage your energy more effectively. Third, develop practices that help you cleanse and protect your energy. This might include meditation, prayer, or visualization exercises. Some people find it helpful to imagine a protective bubble of light surrounding them, shielding them from negative energies. Others use grounding techniques, like connecting with nature or practicing deep breathing, to help release absorbed energies and return to a state of balance. Remember, your sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a powerful tool for understanding and navigating the world around you. By learning to manage the energy transference effect, you can harness your sensitivity in ways that serve both you and others. You're not alone in this experience. Many of God's chosen ones are learning to navigate these same waters, finding strength in their sensitivity and purpose in their unique perspective on the world. As you embrace your sensitivity, you might notice other changes taking place within you. Have you ever felt like you're becoming a stranger to yourself? Like the person you were yesterday no longer fits who you are today? This isn't just growth. It's a complete metamorphosis of your spiritual self. Think back to a time when you felt completely comfortable in your own skin. You knew who you were, what you liked, and where you were going in life. Now, fast forward to today. Do you sometimes catch yourself in the mirror, wondering who's looking back at you? It's not that you've changed your appearance, but something deeper, more fundamental has shifted. This profound change isn't something to fear. In fact, it's a natural part of your spiritual awakening. As you become more attuned to the divine, your old identity, the one shaped by societal expectations and limited beliefs, begins to fall away. It's like shedding an old skin that no longer fits, revealing a truer, more authentic version of yourself underneath. You might find that your interests have changed. Things that once captivated you now seem trivial, while new passions emerge that align more closely with your spiritual path. Your values may shift too, as you gain a broader perspective on life and your place in the universe. Even your sense of purpose can undergo a dramatic transformation as you begin to understand your role in a greater cosmic plan. This identity shift can be disorienting at times. You might feel like you're losing touch with your old self, or struggling to relate to friends and family who knew the old you. Remember, this process of self-discovery and transformation is a necessary part of fulfilling your divine purpose. It's preparing you for the unique role you're meant to play in the world. One quote perfectly captures this experience. "The solitude experienced by chosen individuals is far from a burden. It is a divine preparation for a greater purpose." This solitude, this feeling of being different or set apart, is actually a sacred space where your new identity can take shape. As you navigate this identity shift, be gentle with yourself. It's okay to feel uncertain or even scared at times. You're stepping into uncharted territory, becoming a version of yourself that you've never known before. This journey of self-discovery is both exciting and challenging, filled with moments of profound insight and periods of confusion. Remember, this transformation isn't about becoming someone entirely new. It's about uncovering the truest, most authentic version of yourself, the person you were always meant to be. Your core essence, your soul, remains the same. What's changing is how you express that essence in the world. This identity shift might make it difficult to relate to others at times. You might find yourself struggling to engage in conversations that once came easily, or feeling out of place in social situations that used to feel comfortable. This is all part of the process. As you align more closely with your spiritual self, you naturally gravitate towards experiences and relationships that resonate with your new vibration. Embrace this change as a positive step in your spiritual journey. Instead of fighting against it or trying to cling to your old identity, allow yourself to flow with this transformation. Trust that each shift, each new revelation about yourself, is bringing you closer to your divine purpose. You're not losing yourself, you're finding your true self. This identity shift is a sacred process, one that's preparing you for the incredible work you're meant to do in the world. As you continue to evolve and grow, you'll find that your new identity allows you to connect more deeply with others, to offer your unique gifts to the world, and to live in alignment with your highest self. As your connection to the divine deepens, you might notice a strange paradox emerging. The more you understand about the world, the more alone you feel. Have you ever wondered why spiritual growth sometimes comes with a side of loneliness? Think about a time when you suddenly realized something profound about life, something that seemed to change everything. Maybe you felt a surge of excitement, a sense of breakthrough. But then, as you looked around, you realized that not everyone shared your newfound perspective. It's like you've been given a pair of special glasses that allow you to see the world in a whole new way, but no one else is wearing them. This experience is common among spiritually awakened individuals, often referred to as chosen ones. As your awareness expands, you start to perceive layers of reality that others might miss. You begin to understand the interconnectedness of all things, the deeper meanings behind everyday events, and the subtle energies that shape our world. It's beautiful and awe-inspiring, but it can also be incredibly isolating. Imagine trying to explain a vivid, colorful dream to someone who's only ever seen in black and white. That's often how it feels when you try to share your spiritual insights with others who haven't experienced a similar awakening. You might find yourself struggling to put your experiences into words, or feeling frustrated when others don't seem to grasp the significance of what you're sharing. This newfound understanding can also bring a sense of responsibility. As you become more aware of the spiritual dimension of life, you might feel called to help others, to share your insights and guide them towards their own awakening. It's a noble impulse, born out of love and compassion. But it can also become a heavy burden if not balanced with self-care and realistic expectations. You might find yourself in situations where people come to you for advice, seeking guidance on their own spiritual journeys. At first, this can feel empowering and affirming. But there may be times when you feel inadequate, unsure if you have the right words or the ability to truly help. Remember, your journey is about growth and learning, not perfection. It's okay not to have all the answers. The journey of self-discovery for chosen ones is often filled with challenges that can lead to personal growth, but this process can also feel isolating. You might find yourself questioning your purpose, especially when you can't fulfill the expectations placed upon you by others or even yourself. It's important to remember that these feelings of inadequacy are a natural part of the growth process. They're not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for deeper self-reflection and spiritual development. As you navigate this new terrain of heightened awareness and spiritual responsibility, it's crucial to find balance. Yes, you have unique insights and gifts to share with the world, but you're also human, still learning and growing yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself the space to process your own experiences and insights before feeling pressured to guide others. Remember, your spiritual journey is not about becoming a perfect guru or savior. It's about authentically living your truth and allowing your light to shine in a way that naturally inspires others. Sometimes, the most powerful way to help is simply by being yourself, embodying the change and awareness you wish to see in the world. Have you ever felt like your authenticity is pushing people away, leaving you more isolated than ever? There's a hidden reason why chosen ones often struggle to connect in crowded spaces, and it's not what you think. As your spiritual journey unfolds, you might find yourself craving deeper, more meaningful connections. Gone are the days when surface-level chats could satisfy your soul. Now, you're searching for something more. Conversations that touch the core of your being, relationships that resonate with your newfound awareness. But here's the thing. This quest for authenticity can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're experiencing a beautiful awakening, seeing the world through new eyes. On the other, you might find yourself feeling increasingly out of step with those around you. Think about the last time you were at a social gathering. Did you feel a subtle disconnect, as if you were speaking a different language than everyone else? It's not that you've forgotten how to socialize. Rather, your spiritual growth has shifted your perspective, making it challenging to engage in the kind of small talk that once came so easily. This longing for depth isn't a flaw or a sign that you're becoming antisocial. It's actually a reflection of your spiritual maturity. As one source puts it, the journey of the chosen ones is characterized by a longing for authenticity, which can make socializing feel unfulfilling and lead to periods of solitude. Sound familiar? Your desire for genuine connections is a beautiful thing. It shows that you're no longer content with superficial interactions. You're seeking relationships that align with your evolving values and beliefs. This shift is part of your spiritual awakening, drawing you towards experiences and people that resonate with your true self. However, this quest for authenticity can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation, especially in crowded environments where small talk reigns supreme. You might find yourself struggling to engage in conversations that once flowed effortlessly, or feeling out of place at social gatherings. Remember, this isn't a step backward in your social skills. It's a step forward in your spiritual journey. As one source emphasizes, the quality of connections matters more than the quantity of interactions. This rings especially true for spiritually awakened individuals, You're no longer satisfied with collecting acquaintances or maintaining surface-level friendships. Instead, you're drawn to deep, meaningful relationships that nourish your soul and support your growth. This shift in how you connect with others is often accompanied by a profound sense of responsibility. As a chosen one, you may feel called to lead and inspire others, to share the insights you've gained on your spiritual journey. This calling can further set you apart in social settings, as you find yourself thinking about deeper truths while others are engaged in casual conversation. It's important to remember that this journey towards authenticity is a process. You're learning to navigate a world that often values quantity over quality when it comes to social interactions. It's okay to feel out of place sometimes. It's okay to step back from situations that don't align with your new vibration. Instead of seeing your need for authentic connections as a limitation, try to view it as a strength. Your ability to seek depth and meaning in relationships is a gift. It's preparing you for the kind of connections that will truly support and enhance your spiritual growth. So, how can you navigate this new terrain? Start by being gentle with yourself. Recognize that your changing social needs are a natural part of your spiritual evolution. Seek out spaces and people that resonate with your new frequency. This might mean joining spiritual groups, attending workshops, or simply being open about your desire for more meaningful conversations with friends and family. Remember, you're not alone in this experience. Many chosen ones find themselves withdrawing from certain social situations to protect their energy and focus on their spiritual growth. This isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about being selective with your social engagements and prioritizing authentic relationships. Speaking of authentic relationships, have you ever considered that the most important one might be with yourself? What if those times when you feel most alone are actually opportunities for the deepest connection of all? A connection that could unlock hidden strengths and reveal your true calling. Think about the last time you craved solitude. Maybe you felt a pull to step away from the noise, to find a quiet corner where you could just be. It's easy to see these moments as a retreat, a way to escape the overwhelming energy of crowds. But what if there's so much more than that? Solitude, for God's chosen ones, isn't just about finding peace and quiet. It's a sacred space, a sanctuary where profound transformation takes place. When you step away from the constant chatter and energy of others, you create room for something extraordinary to unfold within you. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in a crowded room. The noise surrounds you, voices and laughter blending into a cacophony of sound. Now, picture yourself stepping out of that room into a peaceful garden. The noise fades away, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft song of birds. In that moment of quiet, don't you feel like you can finally hear your own thoughts, your own heart? That's the power of solitude. It's not about isolation or loneliness. It's about creating space for your inner voice to emerge, for your connection with the divine to strengthen. In these quiet moments, you have the opportunity to reflect, to heal, and to align yourself with your true purpose. You might find that in solitude, your thoughts become clearer, your intuition stronger. It's as if the noise of the world has been muffling your inner wisdom, and now, in the quiet, you can finally hear it loud and clear. This is where true self-discovery happens, where you uncover layers of yourself that may have been hidden beneath the surface. Remember, as a spiritually awakened individual, your sensitivity to the world around you is heightened. This gift allows you to perceive and process so much more than others might. But it also means you need time to integrate all that information, to make sense of the energies you're constantly absorbing. Solitude provides that essential time and space. One source beautifully captures this idea. In the quietude of solitude, chosen ones have the space to reflect on their thoughts, emotions, and experiences without external distractions. This quiet reflection isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for your spiritual growth and well-being. Think of solitude as a sacred ritual, a time when you commune with your higher self and with the divine. It's in these moments that you can hear the whispers of guidance, feel the gentle nudges that steer you towards your true path. This time alone isn't about avoidance or escape. It's about preparation, alignment, and empowerment. You might worry that spending time alone means you're disconnecting from the world, but the truth is quite the opposite. By taking time for solitude, you're actually preparing yourself to engage with the world more fully, more authentically. You're recharging your spiritual batteries, clarifying your vision, and strengthening your connection to your purpose. This need for solitude doesn't make you antisocial or weak. It makes you wise. You're recognizing the importance of balance, of taking time to turn inward so that you can show up more powerfully in your outward life. It's a sign of spiritual maturity to honor this need within yourself. So the next time you feel that pull towards solitude, embrace it. See it not as a retreat from life, but as a vital part of living your most authentic, purposeful life. In those quiet moments, you're not just resting, you're growing, healing, and aligning with your divine purpose. Yet, as you embrace your inner journey, a new challenge emerges. Imagine feeling more alone in a crowded room than you ever did in solitude. What if your spiritual awakening is setting you apart in ways you never expected? Have you ever felt like no one quite gets what you're trying to do, or who you're trying to be? It's a common experience for those on a spiritual path. You've spent time in solitude, connecting with your inner self and the divine. You've gained insights and clarity. But when you step back into the world, something feels off. You try to share your experiences, your newfound wisdom, but the words seem to fall flat. It's as if you're speaking a language others can't understand. You look around and see people going about their lives, caught up in the everyday hustle and bustle. And there you are, seeing the world through new eyes, feeling like a stranger in a familiar land. This feeling of being misunderstood can be overwhelming. You might find yourself withdrawing from social situations, preferring the company of your own thoughts to the confusion of trying to explain yourself to others. It's not that you don't want to connect. It's just that the connection you're seeking feels out of reach. Remember, this experience is part of your journey. As you awaken spiritually, you're changing in ways that aren't always visible to others. Your priorities shift, your perspective broadens, and suddenly, the conversations that once felt engaging now seem superficial. It's not that you've become better than anyone else. You've simply tuned into a different frequency. This shift can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation. You might look at your old friends and wonder why you can't relate to them the way you used to. Family gatherings might feel more challenging as you struggle to find common ground. It's important to recognize that these feelings are normal. They're part of the growing pains of spiritual awakening. But here's the thing. Your unique path doesn't need to be understood by everyone. In fact, it's unlikely that it will be. And that's okay. Your journey is yours alone, and it's perfectly fine if others don't get it. What matters is that you stay true to yourself and your calling. Think about it this way. If everyone could immediately understand and relate to your experiences, would they be as transformative? The very thing that sets you apart is what makes your journey special. It's preparing you for something greater, something that requires you to see the world differently. So, how do you navigate this new terrain? First, be patient with yourself and others. Remember that everyone is on their own path, moving at their own pace. Your awakening doesn't make you better than anyone else. It just means you're on a different journey. Second, seek out like-minded individuals. While it's important to maintain connections with those who knew you before your awakening, it's also crucial to find people who can relate to your experiences. Look for spiritual groups, workshops, or online communities where you can share your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. Third, practice compassion. When you feel misunderstood or judged, try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. They might not be ready to hear what you have to say, and that's okay. Your role isn't to force your understanding on others, but to live your truth in a way that might inspire curiosity and openness in those around you. Lastly, remember that this phase of feeling misunderstood is temporary. As you continue on your path, you'll learn to bridge the gap between your inner world and the outer world. You'll find ways to translate your experiences into language others can understand. And you'll discover that your unique perspective is a gift, not just for you, but for the world around you. Have you ever wondered why solitude feels so necessary? What if those quiet moments of reflection are more than just a respite from the world? They might be the very foundation of your spiritual mission. Think about a time when you felt completely alone, even in a crowded room. That feeling of isolation, of being different, can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that these moments of loneliness are actually the birthplace of your greatest strengths? As a spiritually awakened individual, you might find yourself craving solitude more often than not. It's not that you don't enjoy the company of others. It's just that you've discovered a profound truth. In the quiet, you can hear the whispers of your soul. These periods of isolation aren't just about escaping the noise of the world. They're a crucial part of your spiritual journey, preparing you for a mission that's uniquely yours. In these moments of solitude, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, developing qualities that are essential for your divine calling. During these times alone, you're cultivating something precious: emotional independence. You're learning to find comfort and strength within yourself, rather than constantly seeking it from others. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about developing a deep, unshakable sense of self-love and acceptance. Imagine feeling so secure in who you are that external validation becomes unnecessary. That's the gift of these solitary moments. You're building a foundation of self-worth that can weather any storm. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you learn to love and accept yourself, the more capable you become of forming authentic, healthy relationships with others. But it doesn't stop there. This emotional independence you're developing, it's not just for you. It's preparing you to serve others in a profound way. When you're no longer dependent on others for your sense of worth, you can offer love and support without expectation or condition. You become a steady rock in the stormy seas of life, able to offer genuine help to those around you. Remember, your journey isn't just about survival. It's about thriving in your unique divine calling. Those moments when you feel most alone, they're shaping you, molding you into the person you're meant to become. They're giving you the strength and wisdom to fulfill your spiritual mission. You might be wondering, how can I embrace this solitude without feeling lonely? The key is to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing these moments as isolation, view them as sacred time with yourself and the divine. Use this time to reflect, to pray, to meditate. Let it be a time of growth and self-discovery. As you embrace these moments of solitude, you'll find that they become less about being alone and more about being whole. You're not withdrawing from the world. You're preparing to engage with it more fully, more authentically than ever before. And here's something incredible to consider. As you develop this inner strength and authenticity, you'll naturally attract others who resonate with your energy. You'll find that your relationships become deeper, more meaningful. You're no longer trying to fit in or please others. Instead, you're showing up as your true self, and that authenticity is magnetic. So the next time you feel that pull towards solitude, embrace it. Know that in these quiet moments, you're not just recharging, you're transforming. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be, equipped with the strength, wisdom, and love to fulfill your unique spiritual mission. Have you ever felt like your sensitivity was a burden? That feeling of being overwhelmed in crowds, of picking up on energies others seem oblivious to. It's time to see your gift for what it truly is, a superpower. Your ability to feel deeply, to sense the unseen, isn't a flaw. It's a sign that you're awakening to a higher purpose. Remember, those moments of isolation are preparing you for something greater. They're refining your spiritual senses, aligning you with your divine calling. Embrace the solitude when it comes. Use it as a sacred space to connect with your inner wisdom and the divine. Your journey isn't just about surviving in a world that often feels too loud. It's about thriving in your unique purpose. So, don't shy away from your sensitivity. Embrace it. Let it guide you to authentic connections and deeper understanding. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Use it to change the world, one genuine interaction at a time. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and ensures you don't miss more content to support your spiritual journey. Thank you for your support.